Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Blog Spot. Today, we're going to talk about Game of Thrones 10 things that we didn't know about Rhaegal. And this comes from RG9. Life has not been kind to Daenerys Targaryen's dragons, especially Rhaegal or Viserion. Drogon is the lucky one, the chosen child. He gets the most screen time in the show and the most pages in the book. He is also the only one currently still living. Drogon is clearly Dany's favorite too, since she rides him all the time. Despite the obvious display of favoritism towards Drogon, Dany's other dragons should not be neglected by fans of Game of Thrones. Rhaegal is one interesting dragon that did not get enough attention during the show. Okay, here we go. And we'll start with number 10, which is Rhaegal's teeth are supposed to be black. All dragons' teeth are supposed to be black. They're supposed to be jet black. Imagine the way a dragon glass dagger looks. That is the same shade of black meant to be all over Rhaegal's toothy grin. The books also state the teeth are supposed to be black. As a matter of fact, the books even go so far as to describe the very bones of dragons as black. The skull of Balerion, the Black Dread, at the bottom of the Red Keep was also supposed to be a deep, glistening black. Number 9. Rhaegal was more vicious than Viserion. At some point in both the book and television series, Dany grows leery of her dragons. Their wild and violent natures distress her as she tries to rule the city of Meereen peacefully. In the show, Drogon is yet again the focal point of this issue. Rhaegal gets his time to shine in the books only. After Drogon and Dany take off from the fighting pits during their first flight together, Rhaegal and Viserion break out of the crypt Dany was keeping them in. They make their abodes on separate pyramids in the city. Rhaegal ends up terrorizing the people nearby more than Viserion. Sir Barristan Selmy, who is alive in the books, notes the fact that Rhaegal is clearly the more dangerous of the two. Number 8. Rhaegal was named after Dany's brother. Dany had two brothers, but she named Rhaegal after her older brother, who was Rhaegar Targaryen. Dany never met Rhaegar, but she grew up on stories of him. These stories must have meant a lot to her because naming one of her dragons after Rhaegar is not the only time she has tried to pass along his name. When she was pregnant, Dany intended to name her child Rhaegal. Number 7. Rhaegal burned a Dornishman. A lot goes down in the books that does not happen in the show. For instance, Doran Martell, the ruler of Dorne, sends his son Quentyn Martell to Meereen to try to negotiate a marriage pact with Dany. By the time Quentyn gets to Meereen, Dany is already married and she has flown the coop with Drogon. For some insane reason, Quentyn thinks it will be a good idea to seize Rhaegal and Viserion from the crypt all by himself when Dany's gone. He gets himself burned to a crisp courtesy of Rhaegal. Number 6. Rhaegal's fire contains the color green. There is a magical aspect to dragons that makes the fire they emit hotter and brighter than normal. It can even make their fire come out in different colors. This is never shown on the show, but in the book series, the vivid hues of a dragon's fire are described in detail. Rhaegal's flames have a bright tinge of green to them. The green color of his fire sets him apart from his brothers. Drogon's fire is black with bits of red. Viserion's flames are a light gold with orange streaks. Number 5. Rhaegal attacked the good masters of Astapor. This is a perfect example of Game of Thrones showing favor to Drogon alone instead of all 3 of Dany's dragons. When Dany first acquired the Unsullied from the good masters of Astapor, she tricked them. Instead of following through on their bargain of 1 dragon for the entire Unsullied, Dany uses the Unsullied to attack the good masters. She also sets Drogon on them. In the books, Rhaegal was loosed on the masters as well. We don't get to see this on the show, but you should know that Rhaegal did his part in the conquest of Astapor. Number 4. Rhaegal's scales are green and bronze. The dragons on the show are not given the distinct colors they possess in the books. Rhaegal in the books is described as being a deep green with bronze highlights. However, in the show, Rhaegal does not display this color so obviously. Only a keen-eyed fan or one who has read A Song of Ice and Fire would know that Rhaegal has those colors. The colors of Rhaegal's dragon egg are more defined than the ones on his scales. Number 3. Rhaegal tried to save Viserion. It was heartbreaking for fans of Game of Thrones to watch when Viserion got speared by the Night King. It was equally, if not more, heartbreaking for the 2 remaining dragons to watch as their sibling fell with that gaping wound in his side. If you paid attention during that episode in season 7, you will notice that Rhaegal flies closely behind Viserion as he plummets to the ice. It is almost as if he is trying to assist his brother in his hour of need. However, once Viserion hits the ground, there is nothing for Rhaegal to do but glide away. Number 2. Rhaegal is naturally smaller than Drogon. Many fans thought that both Rhaegal and Viserion were smaller than Drogon thanks to their imprisonment in Meereen. After Drogon burned a child outside the city, Dany decides to pin her 2 at-home dragons for a crime they didn't commit. So many fans believe that Rhaegal and Viserion's time in those cramped quarters reduced their growth. Drogon, allowed to roam free, was able to develop into the large beast he is. However, if you look at the dragons carefully, even prior to their time in Meereen, Rhaegal and Viserion are still smaller than Drogon. Number 1. Rhaegal's connection to the Targaryens is magic. Dragons and Targaryens share a bond that goes back centuries. Before the Targaryens ever arrived in Westeros, they lived in Valyria, home of the dragons and the dragon lords. It is thanks to this heritage that most Targaryens have a closeness with dragons. It is unclear where exactly dragons came from in the world of Game of Thrones. However, the Valyrians were the first to master the art of raising and riding dragons. Rhaegal has a magical dragon is more than just an animal. He can sense the Targaryen bloodline in Jon Snow and the emotions of his mother just as much as Drogon can. Okay, that's going to do it for me. Thank you for stopping by the channel. Please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, post your comment, and I will talk to you soon with more Game of Thrones news. Bye.